Hello everybody, it's Ben from the Bonehead Podcast. No, it's not. Wrong channel, sorry. It's Damon from Wellywood Wargaming, and today we're going to be looking at Blood Bowl. I know I normally focus on Necromunda, but Blood Bowl is one of my true loves. So today I'm going to give you my 2 cents on the new edition of Blood Bowl. We have Season 3, or maybe the 6th or 7th version of Blood Bowl to date, since I was a wee nipper. But I think this one was expected all along. I think we all knew in the Blood Bowl community that there was going to be another edition of Blood Bowl at some point soon. Whether it was going to be this soon or not, whether leaks have forced this, again, a bit like Horus Heresy, perhaps, but there were a few surprises here. I think, there were a lot of people saying, oh, this is going to be Bretonnians and, and Khemri, or Tomb Kings as they're called now. And most people dismissed it as we sort of thought, yeah, they probably won't touch Bretonnians again, or they never really did anyway. It was just Cyanide in Blood Bowl 2 that had Bretonnians. And I have to say, Bretonnians were one of my favourite teams in Blood Bowl. I've run them in tournaments on numerous occasions, and I really do like Bretonnians. And I do find that it's really interesting that they're now bringing Bretonnians into it when we have Nobles, which I thought were the sort of organic replacement for Bretonnians. So this is really interesting to me. But anyway, we have the 3rd season. I want to start off by sort of saying that the 2nd season I was not a huge fan of overall. I've played a number of tournaments in a few years, but I did have a sort of hiatus period for Blood Bowl where I just found there was too many new skills, particularly all the new passing skills. The new passing stat didn't really do it for me either. Wildly inaccurate, stuff like that just kind of sucked, quite frankly. So my joy for Blood Bowl was a little bit sapped for a while there. However, it looks like a lot of those issues have been fixed or at least looked at. And it seems like Games Workshop have consulted the Blood Bowl community or certain members of the Blood Bowl community to bring things a bit closer to where we as fans and players of Blood Bowl want it. So first off, let's take a look at the Warhammer Community article from a few days ago. We have a new box set. This is a boxed game. Everything is in there. It has the new and improved or stripped back somewhat rules for Blood Bowl. And of course, we get 2 teams in here. We get Bretonnians, which are the French Knights of the Old World, with Khemri, aka Tomb Kings, which are a team that have been used in Blood Bowl for quite a while. They're quite a challenging team, and a lot of pros use these guys in tournaments to good effect. They need a lot of tactical positioning. You've got to play these guys like chess, really. But it's going to be interesting to see how they've changed things with these teams, if they've changed much at all. I think Khemri, or Tomb Kings, I keep saying Khemri, were a team of legend. There is also a mention of High Elves at the bottom of this article as well, saying that they're going to be coming back at some point, or that they've just kept the Legends sort of document alive in this case. So I'm not really sure there. But firstly, I want to just look at the models, actually. The models are beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of the modern Blood Bowls generally. I do love the 2nd edition stuff the most by far, but I hate painting metal as well. The plastics for the Bretonnians, though, are really, really nice. I particularly like, actually, the sort of peasants or peasant equivalents in these teams as well. And I love the fact that you can get different choices of sort of headgear for the knights as well. Really, really cool. And they've obviously changed the sort of core makeup of the traditional Bretonnian team that Cyanide sort of released and that we know and love from NAF tournaments as well. So really interesting here. The Tomb Kings look pretty cool as well. We still get the 4 Tomb Guardians. They are certainly smaller than I would expect at strength 5, but getting Tomb Guardians in plastic is just fantastic. That rhymes. And, all of the sort of Egyptian vibes and themes that you would get with these guys are there. And it looks like all of the positions for the Tomb Kings are exactly the same as well. They've just added a few new rules here. First off, let's look at the Bretonnians. We've got some new rules for Bretonnians here. The Knights, or Blitzers, come with a skill called Steady Footing, which means on a 6-up, they remain standing when they were to be going prone. On a roll of 6, they just remain standing. This could be really good, actually, at clutch sort of moments. So not to be sniffed at, I suppose, but it is a new skill, never been seen before, Steady Footing. We've got Knight Throwers and Knight Catchers as well, 2 of each, and they have Pass and Catch respectively. Also, both of them have Nerves of Steel, so similar to like a Pro Elf Catcher there, we've got Catch and Nerves of Steel on the Catcher, which means you can catch with your ordinary catch roll, I suppose, while you're surrounded by players, which is really cool. And the thrower can also pass with sort of interference. So pretty cool there. Nerves of Steel is a great skill. We've also got Wrestle on all of the squires as well. Now, Bretonnians in Cyanide or Blood Bowl 2 or NAF tournaments as well had Fend on all the peasants. That has kind of been ported over to the nobles. Now we have Wrestle on these guys, and Wrestle is a far better skill than Fend. Mass Wrestle on a team is really annoying to play against. If you played against gnomes, at Strength 2 with Wrestle is annoying enough, but Strength 3 with Wrestle, which I presume they're going to be, is going to be even more annoying. So that's quite an interesting one there. Other than that, that's all we really know about the Bretonnian team and how it's made up. So we get 2 catchers, 2 blitzers, 2 throwers, and a bunch of mooks with Wrestle. It's pretty nice, really. They get no big guy, but they don't really need it by the sounds of it when you've got such good core skills anyway. So a bunch of pros, really. They really are quite an elite team by the sounds of it. The Tomb Kings, everything is familiar, apparently. The Tomb Guardians now, however, get Brawler, though, which is really nice. So they still get Decay, so they're still, crook if you injure them, if you can, that is. But 4 Strength 5 guys with Brawler is fantastic. It's not block, it's only Brawler, but it really does make these guys far more effective at blocking when you're nearly always just punching stuff with 2 dice. These guys get to re-roll one of them. So Brawler is just really, really good on a Strength 5 guy with no nega trait, by the way. No bonehead, no really stupid, nothing like that, from the looks of it anyway. So that's interesting too. The skeletons still get Thick Skull. The blitzers are still Blitz Ras, so they're the same as your sort of whites, I suppose, in a lot of ways. And but Brawler really is a highlight on those Tomb Guardians there. You most of the time you're going to give them Guard or Mighty Blow in some way, shape or form. In tournaments, they generally all go Guard or a mixture of Guard and Mighty Blow, or sometimes all Mighty Blow. But having Brawler there just makes them hit so much harder. So a really nice addition there, and it certainly will bring Khemri or Tomb Kings up a tier or 2. Now here's an interesting thing. We have a new sort of rule in the game, or a new action that you can do once per turn, just like a blitz or a pass. And it is called Secure the Ball. So if you are a low agility team, or any team for that matter, and you just want to secure the ball without having to roll a 3-up, re-roll 3-up and fail it 4 turns consecutively, because it will happen in tournaments, now you can do it on a 2-up, which is pretty cool, actually. So you can just go and secure the ball, but it ends your action. So if the ball's in the backfield and you just want to secure it and pick it up, you declare that you're doing a secure the ball action, and you're basically picking up on a 2-up instead of whatever your normal agility is, which I think is flipping awesome. Finally, they've looked at passing. Unfortunately, the passing stat is still there. I kind of wish they'd go back to the agility roll, to be honest, but it's fair enough, I suppose. Elves were dominating too much, but now we've got rid of Wildly Inaccurate, which was a silly rule anyway, just pointless. I just wish it wasn't there. Now it has gone. The kickoff table has also changed as well. There's no officious refs anymore. I'm glad they dialed back the kickoff table, because before second season, the kickoff table was a bit harsh, especially blitzes and things like that. So that's nice to have. But yeah, the just confirming the secure the ball here is a 2+ to do it. So you still get the reroll with that as well, which is far, far nicer, particularly for a team like Tomb Kings or Nurgle or any of the teams with low agility, really. Just picking up the ball can be an absolute nightmare in a tournament. Particularly if you'll have those games where you just cannot pick up the ball, especially if it's raining or some of the other horrible weather effects. So that's a really, really nice rule that I think they've brought into this. They've also clearly looked at how tournaments operate. So they've given us a bunch of skill markers or action markers with like blitz and prone and stuff on it, as well as actually a ball token as well, which you can stick under the base, which is what we use. We all use the Charlie Victor metal ones if we can afford them. They're pretty nice, just to sort of represent the actual ball. No fiddling around with little plastic balls anymore. However, you've still got the little plastic ball, but you actually attach it to the little ball base thing here as well, and you also attach those statuses and skill rings to them as well. So a nice bit of innovation there from Games Workshop. It looks like Monstrous Mouth has been changed a little bit. You get a chomped status, which I don't know what that is, but it sounds quite interesting. But Monstrous Mouth was one of those skills that you're probably not going to take very often. Also, we've got an eye gouge skill, which is fantastic, especially if you're playing orcs by the name of the gouged eye. That's great. It prevents a player from offering assists, so that's pretty cool. Switches off assists, a bit like defensive switches off guard, perhaps. That's pretty cool. And we also got Dodgy Snack as well, which is the result of a kickoff event. So It's yet to be seen what that one's going to do. 2 issues of Spike magazine are coming out after that as well. We've got the Bretonnians first with issue 19, and then the Khemri or Tomb Kings after that in issue 20 as well. But otherwise, the box set will be available shortly, I suppose. It has a nice picture in it. It has some really nice dice, by the way, the black and red looking dice for the Bretonnians, and the sort of bone-coloured Khemri dice there as well, which you get in the box set. Everything else remains the same, though. The same number of squares on the board. Don't worry about that too much. Most of the core mechanics are intact. They've just made it a little bit tighter by the looks of it, so that's cool. So anyway, as soon as I saw this come out on Instagram, the video for the new box set for the 3rd season, I was quite excited to do a video on it anyway and just give you my sort of overview and my 2 cents on things. Like I said, I wasn't particularly happy with a number of things about 2nd season. It looks like a few of them, not all of them, have been ironed out here, so I'm excited to play the new version of Blood Bowl. I'm particularly interested by that secure the ball mechanic. I think that will change things dramatically because too many games have been lost on just failing to pick up the ball. And I know there are Blood Bowl players who are going to be watching this thinking exactly the same thing. So I think that is a key change that's really going to speed up Blood Bowl and just make it better in so many ways. And I can't believe nobody thought about it before this, but that is a fantastic rules change. So really excited to play that. Will I get the box set? Probably, to be honest. But I do have my Monty Python Hungry Troll Bretonnian team, which I definitely prefer to this one. So I'll be using those ones as proxy for Bretonnians pretty soon anyway. So, but I have more incentive to play Khemri or Tomb Kings now because the models, not only are they plastic, they are gorgeous looking, and honestly, they're the best looking Khemri set that I've seen. There are lots of third-party miniature producers that make Tomb Kings and Khemri. These guys are by far the best in my opinion, and they're plastic as well, which just makes them so much better. Anyway, I'm waffling at this point, but I'm excited about this. I'd like to know what you think down below in the comments. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one real soon. Peace out.